It's 7:30 in the morning and we're going to San Maria de Maggiore. Today we are gonna separate our routes because I have been to Colosseum and Roman Forum before. So I'm gonna take a small tour to Tivoli, which is another UNESCO site, which I'm very interested in, and it's out of town. He's the first time coming to Rome, so he's gonna do the Colosseo Roman Forum kind of classic routes. And my tour is started at 9:30. And I'm thinking about just taking the time to explore the churches around the mini area, which is where we're staying. So the first one we're gonna visit is the San Maria de Maggiore.
The Basilica of St. Mary Major is one of the 4 major papal basilicas in Rome. This means that it is owned by the Vatican. The earliest building on this site was a Roman basilica that built in the 5th century. The current church still keeps the core of its original structure, and it was restored, redecorated, and extended throughout history. Inside this basilica is the tomb of Bernini, which is hidden quietly next to the main altar. And this is the second church we're gonna visit this morning. It is called Basilica of San Pietro in Tivoli. It is also one of the most important churches in Rome. This church houses Michelangelo's statues of Moses, which is considered one of the master's greatest works. This statue is part of the tomb of Pope Julius II, which was one of the patrons of Michelangelo. Another important item of this church is the relic of the chains that bound St. Peter when he was imprisoned in Jerusalem. The chain is now kept in a black container under the main altar. So now I'm here waiting to start into tour, and FL is already heading to Colosseum and starting his day.
Hello friends, this is FL. Now it's my turn to show you my tour in Rome. My first stop was the Colosseum. It is the large ancient amphitheater ever built and still the largest standing one in the world. This architectural marvel was used to host gladiatorial contests and other events for Roman citizens. I started the journey on one of the highest levels in the Colosseum. You would need the full experience attic ticket to access this level. From here, I had a full view of the arena and the underground network of tunnels where gladiators and animals were held before contests began in ancient times. On my way to the Roman Forum, I passed the Arch of Constantine, a triumphal monument dedicated to the Constantine's victories. Nearby stood the Arch of Titus, built in the 1st century to honor the Emperor Titus. This arch later inspired the design of Arc de Triomphe in Paris. After entering the gate, I climbed up to the Capitoline Hills and started my visit. Then I headed down to the Forum and had a full look. It was very hot. A lot of people rest under the shade of the Temple of Caesar. I wonder if Caesar has thought that his temple would become a refuge for tiring tourists 2,000 years later. I climbed up to the Capitoline Hills after walking for the Forum, and I visited the Capitoline Museums. It's a ticketed museum with statues and paintings. It has air conditioning, which is very enjoyable for a hot day. This statue showed the Roman mythology story of Roman founders Romulus and Remus fed by a she-wolf. This image of the she-wolf and the twins had become a symbol of the city of Rome. You can also see a number of paintings by Caravaggio, a master of light and shadow in the Baroque area.
When FL was exploring ancient Rome, I arrived at Tivoli, which is about 1 hour drive away from Rome. My first stop was Hadrian's Villa, which was created in the 2nd century AD by the Roman Emperor Hadrian. The tour started from the Hall of the Philosophers, then to the famous Maritime Theatre. This is a circular house with a closed waterway and is surrounded a little island in the middle. It feels quite romantic and tranquil, even with only the ruins remaining today. Then we came to this Canopus pool that made Hadrian's Villa famous. Statues of Greek gods and columns line the edge of the pool. End of the pool, there's a building that is thought to be a dining hall. Just imagine what a good life was when Hadrian was feasting here with his lover Antonius with this view. At lunch, I got a chance to briefly visit Tivoli town center and had my first Italian panini. For me, it was a huge sandwich with a very rough bread. Then the tour headed to the Villa Adriana, a 16th century Italian Renaissance villa in Tivoli. We started with a luxurious villa with delicate wall paintings and walked down to the garden. In Chinese, we have a nickname for this place, which is called a palace with thousands of fountains. By exploring the garden, you can see where this name came from. There are a large number of fountains spread throughout the garden. For example, this one is called the Oval Fountain, this one represents Rome, and this one is literally called the 100 Fountains. We came to this fountain called the Fountain of Organ, which could make music that is driven by water engineering. We are lucky to get a chance to hear the music that came out of it. The centerpiece of the garden is Neptune's Fountain, originally built by Bernini and being renovated afterward. The Villa Adriana was famous throughout history. In the 19th century, an Hungarian composer Franz Liszt came here wrote a piano piece for this villa, and capturing the villa's beauty in music.
I have finished my visiting tour, and he has also finished his day in Colosseum and Roman Forum. What do you think about them?
Colosseum is good, magnificent. Yeah.
What about Roman Forum?
I don't know how to say.
Just say something.
Good. Also good, but not as shock as Colosseum, maybe.
Interesting. Why you think Colosseum is shock?
It's not shock. It's just think that just think that you can't imagine people in 2000 years ago can build such a huge stadium like as big as MCG.
Fine.
Then we headed to the Bath of Caracalla, which is the city's second largest Roman public bath. Bathing played a major part in ancient Roman culture and society. Roman baths not only provide bathing for people, but also serve as a social place for gathering. A lot more activities can be done in baths, such as boxing, weightlifting, and wrestling activities. Bath of Caracalla was thought to host up to 8,000 bathers. It was preserved in its ancient design, and a couple of mosaics could still be seen on the floor. Then we headed to the theater of Marcellus, which was the largest and most important theater in ancient Rome. Around the corner, there's a remain of Portico of Octavia, an ancient Roman temple. Now it's dinner time. I had a pasta, wine, and tiramisu.
He climbed these stairs this morning, but I hadn't, so I had to climb stairs, and I have already walked through 2,200 steps, and I need to climb the stairs. Designed by Michelangelo. That's why.
The Capitoline Square we see nowadays was mainly designed and created by Michelangelo. Even though I was crazily tired and dragging my heels towards the steps, it was worth it as I could witness Michelangelo's master's design under the descending sun in its golden hour. And I also got a glimpse of the Roman Forum by going around the back of Senatorial Palace. For me, this is a great sunset spot in Rome.